Everyone, Roger here from Master Car Experts YouTube channel, here with my Shadow, and today we're going to show you how to store your car for a trip or for winter summer storage. I have plenty of great tips and I'm excited to share these tips with you. There's so much great information that I want to share to prevent costly issues that you might run into. You might have a long vacation planned, or you might need to store your car for quite some time for winter summer storage. There are important steps to prevent problems when you return so that you're ready to drive. Let's predict what can go wrong so we can prevent it. I'm going to go over the often overlooked steps to provide you with the ultimate guide to storing your car. I do recommend watching this video from beginning to end, and then at the end I'm also going to provide some great things to check for when you return so that you're ready to drive. The first step would be to take your car for a drive for about 20 minutes to just get everything warmed up. Do some medium brake applications. That way it can clean the rust off the rotors if you have any buildup rust. This is best performed on a dry day, and that way when you park your car in the garage, everything will be nice and dry and you won't be prone to putting rust back on the rotors. One of the most important things is battery care. You want to prevent damage to your vehicle battery. There's multiple ways you can go ahead and prevent battery damage. You want to always charge the battery fully using a battery charger or trickle charger unit. Your vehicle electronics acts as a parasite and will slowly drain the vehicle over time. The battery is used for memory storage, and there's always a small amount of energy loss over time. Usually the small loss is corrected when you drive the vehicle, but since it's going to be sitting for so long, you need to plan ahead. Not taking care of the battery will lead to a flat dead battery and battery damage. One method to prevent battery damage is to disconnect the negative cable and make sure that the battery is fully charged. I have a trickle charger right here attached, and I can set it to a 2 amp setting, and this will maintain the battery. And you see it shows green there. This is actually a battery charger slash maintainer, which is what I would recommend that you have. You can do this right at the battery, or you can do this at the jump terminals under the hood. You only need to disconnect the negative cable. You don't need to disconnect the positive cable. You don't want to disconnect the positive cable because that is what feeds all of the fuses. And if you need to jump the car or power the car, you can do it at the jump terminal, such as this one right here. And that way you could actually power the car with negative and positive terminal or jump pack. You can then power up the car if you have the negative cable disconnected. If you disconnect both the negative and the positive and you put a jump pack on the front at the jump terminals, you can't power the fuses because it's actually isolated, and therefore you won't be able to access your trunk or get into the vehicle. Now, depending on your battery location, like on this BMW, it's in the trunk, I would have to leave my trunk open, or I could slightly close it and just leave the cable over the lip of the trunk. But you do have to think about critters, and if you have that problem, they could easily access the back of your car and cause some damage. The best method for battery care is to use an approved trickle charger. This will stay plugged in and maintain the vehicle voltage and will offset the parasitic draw that the vehicle has with the electronics. So you don't have to disconnect the battery, leave everything disconnected if you have jump terminals, or you can leave it connected and you can still connect at the battery with a trickle charger, and this will maintain the battery and keep it in good health. Using these methods, it will prevent battery damage. Just as a quick side note, I'm going to have affiliate links in the description below for all of the products that I would recommend for maintaining your vehicle for proper storage. Now to tire care. The most common problem created when storing a vehicle for any length of time is flat spotted tires. With the weight of the vehicle always on one portion of the tire, it leads to misshaped tires, and hence the term flat spot. This leads to a driving vibration that cannot be removed even with balancing of the tires. Replacement is usually what you have to do to fix a flat spotted tire. Sometimes if you drive the car really hard and get the tires very, very hot, you can actually fix a flat spotted tire, but that's really the uncommon situation. Most of the time you cannot correct a flat spotted tire. Most people have some jack stands at home. This would be the best way to prevent a flat spotted tire. Lift the vehicle up, put your jack stands underneath, drop it down, and that way it relieves the pressure on the tire from one spot, and that will help prevent flat spotting. They also sell tire cradles, and they rest right under the tire and they curve up and around,
and they support the tire's weight and helps maintain that shape. So that is one easy method, to just put those underneath the tires and drop it down. And I'll have the link in the description for that item. Fuel system care. Prevent a crank no start by taking care of the fuel system before the problem is present. Fuel can go bad over time and lead to a super costly repair, especially when you have to drain the fuel tank to remove the bad fuel. The first step in preparing your vehicle for storage will be to fill the tank using a high-grade fuel. Before refueling, take note of how much fuel you normally add when the tank is empty. This is important because it's not enough to just use high-grade fuel. You should also treat the fuel using a fuel stabilizer, such as Sta-Bil. You know, a long time ago, I did not use Sta-Bil in items like my lawnmower and such, and I ended up having to clean the carburetor, take the spark plugs out, drain the fuel, and now I use Sta-Bil in all of my normal yard work equipment and have never had a problem. So I really do like to use the Sta-Bil, and this will keep your fuel good for up to 24 months, and that's important when you're storing your car. So you do have to mix this correctly. So what you're going to want to do is figure out how much you need. The instructions are on the back by how many gallons you're going to put in the car. And then I would put the Sta-Bil in first and then go fill it up, or put the Sta-Bil in at the gas station and then add your fuel so it mixes in the fuel tank correctly. Now, filling up the fuel tank also takes care of another problem. In case you have a metal fuel tank, displacing the air in the fuel tank will prevent rust from building inside the fuel tank. And while most cars have plastic fuel tanks, it's just a good idea. It also keeps all of the components inside the fuel tank healthy. It helps protect all of the components inside of the fuel tank. Next crazy important topic is critter damage. Not from this critter right here, although there is some chew damage on the door panel. That is not from Zion. Zion would never do that, right, boy? Critter damage from rodents, squirrels, chipmunks, and any other pests can be extremely expensive. Many think that this could not happen to you, but I've had many times where I've seen cars come in with extensive damage and complete nests built in engine compartments or even vehicle interiors. There are some simple steps you can do to prevent chew damage or feces all over the place. Mothballs placed in pantyhose, and you put them in any kind of pocket in the engine compartment, or you want to put them like around the base of the car. Mothballs will help prevent rodents from getting into the area they don't like the smell. Now inside the car you can use simple things like dryer sheets and just put them at the four corners at each seat area, and that also helps prevent the rodents from getting into the car. They don't necessarily like the strong odor of the sheets. And it's also a good idea to put them into the trunk. Setting some traps is also a good idea. I would also recommend a ultrasonic rodent repellent device, which plugs into a plug socket and some run off battery power, and that emits a sound that keeps the rodents away from this area. Critters in the engine bay or interior of the car can cause a car to actually be totaled. I've seen it happen before. Now, if you do run into this problem still, a lot of homeowners insurance companies will actually pay for damage caused by rodents because it happened at your house. My next recommendation is to protect your paint and wheels and rotors, especially if the car is outside, but even inside, right? This car's been in the garage for a bit now, yes, but if it was in storage, look at how much dust has built up. Now that would eventually get into the paint. I have to worry about cleaning this, causing a scratch. This is like sandpaper, and it causes damage to the vehicle paint. Save your paint, protect your wheels, and just use some covers. Just get a all-purpose cover for the car, throw a tarp over it, or an all-purpose cover. And they also sell covers for the wheels. Now, if this vehicle is outside, I want to try to keep the water off of the rotors, which is going to cause rust. So covering these wheels with a wheel protective cover will help prevent damage to your rotors. Now for some bonus recommendation and advice. Don't leave your parking brake engaged. The parking brake can actually seize to the internal drum, and when you try to release it, it won't release. So if you can, and the car's in the garage, leave your parking brake disengaged. watch out for moisture in your engine from short distance driving. I have a video on the dangers of short distance driving, and when you take your cap off, you'll see this white scum under your cap. That is not from a failed head gasket. That is from moisture that's built up from the short distance driving. The vehicle never gets warm enough to actually purge the moisture. So let me give you some recommendations for that. So I've actually seen rust on the camshaft and the top end just from the moisture that's built up in the engine, and it hasn't been purged out. So you want to take the car for a very good test drive, maybe 20 minutes or longer, and then when you're home, open your cap up and you'll see steam coming out. And just leave the cap off, walk away, come back in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, let all that vent out, go ahead, put the cap back on. Maybe do this 2 or 3 times. That'll help reduce the amount of moisture that's actually inside the engine, or change the filter and change your oil. Take the car for a good hot drive and do the same thing, because the moisture not only is in your oil, it's usually under the valve cover and it actually sticks to the top of the valve cover underneath, and it just sits right above all of the internal components such as the camshafts on the intake and exhaust. So you're still going to have some moisture, but doing an oil change is a great way to remove a lot of the moisture so that you don't have any internal engine damage. Topping up all of your fluids is a good idea too. Top off your washer fluid, check your power steering if it's applicable, check your oil, and check transmission, which this is a sealed unit on a BMW, so there's really no easy way to check the transmission. Check your coolant level. That way when you get back, you know that you're ready to go. So what should you do when you return? All right, so you're taking it out of vehicle storage. You want to just go over all the key points again. Make sure your battery charger's been working. If not, recharge the battery immediately to prevent damage. Check for critter damage. Check under the hood. Check inside the car. Does anything smell strange? You know, just keep that in mind that there could be critter damage, and hopefully all the steps that you followed prevented it. You want to make sure that you don't have any leaks under the car. So just take a peek under the car and see if you have any signs of fluid leaks, just in case. Your oil's been leaking, your brake fluid's been leaking from a corroded brake line. You just want to be able to catch anything before you drive off. Now the engine's been sitting for a while, so I would recommend trying to do a quick priming procedure. That's just tapping the engine over, shutting it back off, just to help lubricate all of those components, because the piston's been sitting and all of that oil actually goes back down into the crankcase. So just by doing a quick tap, you're getting the oil pressure to come back up, and then it'll spray all of the components, and then just let the car sit for a minute and repeat that a couple of times. And that way you get some oil on the top end before you go ahead and fire it up.
Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe and hit the notifications bell to get notified when I post new videos. I do have this free guide all written out if you want to print it and follow along. I have it on my website at www.askthecarexperts.com. I just ask to use the affiliate links in the description below for any of the products that I'm recommended. That helps me support my Ask the Car Experts YouTube channel, and it's greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.